Hello, my name is Liam and welcome to Arcade Grenade. Now, I absolutely love the GameCube. It's small, it's weird, it has a handle for some reason, and yet somehow Nintendo managed to make a tiny cube one of the coolest consoles ever made. But today, we're going to make it even better, because I've had an entire GameCube shell 3D printed. So the plan is pretty simple. We're going to take a regular old GameCube, we're going to take all the innards out of it, we're going to transplant it into our new case, and desperately hope that I haven't just created the world's most complicated translucent paperweight. The shell itself was 3D printed by today's sponsor Justway, because something this complicated is a little bit beyond what my printers at home can do. But we'll talk about them more in a moment. So let's talk in more building, let's get on with it. Well, to get this build started, we're probably going to need an actual GameCube to swap the innards out with. So I've got my old silver GameCube here. The first thing we're going to need to do is strip all the innards out of it and then transplant it into its nice new case. And I'm just noticing something as well, what we could do here. Hello! This top plastic bit's just a little bit scratched, so we'll look at polishing this, see if we can get this looking a little bit nicer. But let's just set that aside for now. Right, well, let's begin with the disassembly. I think we're going to need some specialist tools for this. Hi everyone, this is Editing Liam. I'm sorry that this video has taken so long to get out, but unfortunately I didn't have the right tool to take apart a GameCube, so I ordered one online, and then the wrong one showed up, so then I ordered another one online, and that didn't show up at all. So this is why it's taken so long to get out, so sorry about that. Anyway, now that we're finally back and I actually have the correct tool that I need to use to take this thing apart, let's get cracking a little bit more. So which one of these is it actually? I'm going to guess it's the bigger of the two. It works! Thank heavens. After waiting 3 weeks for the right part. Almost forgotten the most important thing. My trusty ice cube tray for keeping all the itty bitty screws. Haha. Top case is off. That isn't. Now you'd think that most people would, look at a guide on how to do this, but not me. No. I'm just going to try and break it further. I've got a brilliant idea. Why don't we take pictures? And that way, we've got a bit of a fighting chance of getting this thing back together. We'll give that fan a good clean out as well. So, I'm guessing the main way to get this off the base, because it doesn't look like there's any screws underneath that hold it anymore. I'm guessing the main way to get this off the base is this series of screws around the edge. Should we just start taking stuff out? I mean, I'm not stripping the full board down, am I? I'm literally just transplanting this from one case to another. So if we just take these apart, we're literally just lifting it from one case to another. And then give the fan a clear out, give the laser a clean, polish the GameCube logo on the lid, and hope for the best. Right, can we spot? Oh yeah. I'll tell you what, let's take all those other ones out, Liam. That might be a good idea. It's a fascinating little console, is this really, when you take the cover off and have a look. It's so compact. Definitely looks like some of the innards could do with a clean out though. There's a lot of dust. That's what compressors are for. I'm going to need to look at a guide, aren't I? Yep. Not as much. Hang on. 12 visible screws on the edge. Ah, yeah, they are long screws. A lot more movement now. Oh. Ha! So there's the drive off. Oh, good. I'm glad we rounded that one off a little bit. There she comes. Gently, gently. Are you joking? Are you actually joking? Is this a joke? Did it literally... Yeah, that was a joke. Yeah, cool. All right. Awesome. Power supply out. Brilliant. So that is the bottom of the case all sorted. Oh, good, that sticker seems okay as well. That's good. Brilliant. Now I guess it's time for us to transplant all our parts into the new case, which very nicely ties us into the sponsor for this video, which is... Today's video is sponsored by Justway. Now, most of us have probably had a project where a part is too large for our printer at home, needs a material that we can't print at home, or we simply don't fancy babysitting a 200-hour print for it to fail in the last 10 minutes. This is where Justway comes in. Justway is an online manufacturing service where you upload your 3D model, choose the printing process and any material you need, and they manufacture the finished parts before shipping them directly to you. They offer familiar options like FDM printing and highly detailed resin printing, but they can also produce functional nylon parts using SLS or MJF, and even print objects in actual metal using materials such as aluminium, stainless steel and titanium, which is slightly beyond the capabilities of the printers currently sulking in the corner of my workshop. For this project, I simply sent Justway the files for the clear GameCube case, and then had the parts produced using their clear SLA resin. Something this large, detailed and transparent would have been extremely difficult for me to achieve using my printers at home. So this is the exact kind of project where a professional on-demand printing service makes sense. Whether you need a one-off prototype, a functional replacement part, a highly detailed model, or something made from a material that your own printer can't handle, you can just simply upload your own files and get a quote through the Justway website. You'll find a link to Justway's website down in the description, and I want to say a huge thank you to Justway for supporting this week's video. Anyway, let's get back to building this GameCube. Okay, before we transplant this thing into its new home, there was a few little dust bunnies. So let's just get a little bit of compressed air on this situation. I guess we're ready to delve in to our box o' bits. Yeah, I'm gonna have to nick the springs and everything out, aren't I? Let's try and do this like for like. Excellent, now we're finally getting somewhere. Now I can't actually remember what I did to get this to sit. Right, fantastic. So now we can put the screws back in the heatsink. Let's pop the motherboard back onto the chassis. This is why we take photos as we go along, Liam. Right, now we need our little heat shieldy thingies, don't we? Not heat shield, grounding shield. Oh, you blooming idiot, Liam. You stupid man. I suppose if we're going to put screws in, we should actually maybe, you know, screw down the thing that we're putting the screws in for. It does kind of help. That's good. That's good. Next thing is the cooling fan that loops through there. Right, so we now need to transplant the gubbins from the this controller plate onto this one somehow. I'm guessing it's just those two screws. I'm hoping it is anyway, because otherwise I'm going to have a little cry. Not a big one, just a little one. Oh, would you look at that? Beautiful. So now we just line the peg holes up with that. Slide that on. Ah, fantastic. Ah, that's what the grounding pad sits against. That makes sense. Cool. Now I just need to get that tiny little ribbon cable in without bending it. Well done, Liam. And clip them back around there. Fantastic. Oh, this is starting to look really cool. And then, of course, we've got our replacement back piece. Right, let's just pop you to one side, because now we have our old lid, new lid, but those lovely chaps over at Justway, we've even got some colour-coded buttons to go alongside. Cool, power button is in, and then just a quick check on the old one. That can only go in one way, and then you can only go in one way. So I think the only thing we're gonna have to steal off this OG is the handle for the back, which I wanted to keep black anyway, and the spring mechanism. This is where I get hit in the face with a spring, isn't it? Right, let's hope and pray that this mechanism doesn't just spring off. That's under a lot of tension. No. Wrong colour. And then you go in there somehow. Yeah, you sit there. Perfect. Oh, fantastic. Oh, this is looking awesome. So now we can bring you back in. Now we just need to marry the two parts up, which is going to be harder than it looks. And I forgot to put the handle in. Oh well, never mind. It's not going in now. That is looking... I'm so chuffed with that. Obviously, I still need to screw it together. But that looks so cool. Oh, and we're missing the most important thing. Just to finish it off, our nice GameCube top. Yep, awesome. I'm going to get some screws thrown in the bottom of this thing, get it powered on, and let's take some shots of it finished. And there we have it, one completely transparent GameCube. And I've got to admit, this turned out way better than I initially thought it was going to. Being able to see the motherboard and the disk drive and all the internals is ridiculously cool. It almost feels to me like one of those transparent consoles that Nintendo would have kicking around the office somewhere while they were developing the GameCube, or something that you'd see at like E3 back in the day when the GameCube was coming out. Except this one was made by some bloke in Yorkshire with a screwdriver. So basically the same thing. A huge thank you to Justway for sponsoring this week's video. Genuinely, I couldn't have done it without their help, and I highly recommend that you go and check out their products. I know that they've sponsored this video, but it was genuinely an awesome process. If you want to get into 3D printing and you don't have the printers at home, I strongly recommend that you use Justway, just purely because it was just so easy to use. If you've got a project at home that's too big or too complicated or out of a material that you can't print out of, just click the link below and head over to Justway. And if you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like and a subscribe, and follow me for more 3D printing, model making, retro repairs, and general nerdy chaos. I've been Liam, this has been Arcade Grenade, and I'll see you in the next one.